guys. What I want to talk to y'all about today is some things that you probably have forgotten to put in your get home bag. First of all, a get home bag, it's not necessarily for, ISIS is attacking or and nothing like that. It can be something as simple as your car battery died and you still need to get home. You still need to get wherever you're going. You're on the road, you got a flat tire, you don't have a phone, what do? I don't plan on flagging anybody down unless it is absolutely necessary. As crazy as everybody's getting these days, no way. I'm not flagging anybody down asking for help. I need to be able to provide for myself and for the things that I need. That's my primary reason behind the get home bag. Yes, I can stay overnight for a few nights with the things. I mean, I do have hammocks, stuff like that in there. But primarily it is to get me back to my house, to my family, get me back safe. But some things that I want to cover are what you may have forgotten to put in your bucket bag. And some of these are strictly for urban settings, not so much whenever you're out in the woods, something like that. I work in town. We do live out of town, but I live about 30 minutes drive from where I work. But some of that is through town, so you do need some of these things. Now, one of the first things that I see a lot of people forgetting is just a can opener. This is either the P51 or P38. I don't remember which one, but this takes up no room in your bag. It is light, and it will open any can that you give it. Right? Okay, so in a situation like that, not necessarily like that one, maybe in a grid down situation where there's looting going on, or even in a situation like with the hurricanes, stuff like that, there was lots of looting going on. So there's gonna be some canned goods that you'll be able to get a hold of. But a lot of people forget these. You gotta have one. I mean, you can open it with the concrete. You turn it upside down and you rub it on the concrete. You do risk losing some of the food doing it that way, but why not just have this? It's so light. It's so simple. You could EDC this if you wanted to. It's tiny. That's the first thing that I see a lot of people forget. One of the second things in situations like that, for instance, on my lunch, sometimes I'll take my get home bag and I'll walk around town just on my lunch, just to make sure that it's not too heavy or that kind of thing. One time I did come in contact with a stray dog. Now, he didn't bite me or nothing like that, but I didn't have anything on me at that time except for a knife. I mean, I could have stabbed him. I don't want to kill the dog. Maybe in a situation like that, but I don't want to kill him. But one thing you can do is get pepper spray. Get pepper spray. It stops humans too, but get pepper spray that you can stop a dog with. Another thing is a collapsible baton. This one is only about, 12 inches or so. But dogs get a little discouraged if you were to. I'm not saying beat the dog just because. I'm not advocating animal violence, but what I am saying though is it is a little bit heavy, but it's not bad. But even mace, like I said, you can stop that. If there's dogs, nobody's going to be worried about their dog at that point. They're not going to be trying to make sure Fluffy's leashed and put up. So you definitely could encounter, you can use it on humans too, but you definitely could encounter stray dogs and stuff like that could try to bite you and attack. That's one of the last things you want is an injury when you're just trying to get where you need to go. You don't need extra injuries that can be avoided. So that's another thing that I think a lot of people forget about is a form of protection, not only against people, but animals as well, that's non-lethal. So, let's see here. Okay, another big thing is an N95 mask. I don't know if you can see that too good, but you know what an N95 mask is. But they're super cheap. Again, they take up little to no room. They have no weight to them at all. And I mean, it can help, especially now. It won't help with a lot of chemicals and stuff like that. But if there's debris, if for whatever reason, if your building collapses or you're having to go through smoke, it won't help with smoke a terrible amount, but it will give you some protection. And a lot of people will say, just get a bandana. Well, yeah, it will help with large debris and stuff like that, in the air, but this really will filter out a lot more than that. So I definitely suggest getting these. Like I said, they come in like a 2-pack for like $3. You can't go wrong, and why not? Why not have it? Even if you don't ever need it, why not have it? All right, so another thing that I hear a lot of people talking about is, okay, well, I've got my route planned on my phone. I know exactly where I need to stop and all that. Great, but if you're doing this for more than a day, I don't know about you, but my phone by the end of the day is at about 6%. It's not going to do me any good. And if you know your local area, great. But if you are, let's say, on a business trip or something like that, ahead of time, collect maps. Get the maps of all the surrounding areas that you could possibly have to be in, or have to go to. For instance, this one, I have one of New Orleans. Whenever we took my daughter down to New Orleans one time, this one is New Orleans, and behind it is, I can't even think now, one through like Alexandria, and then one up through where we live. And I mean, yeah, just get maps of all of even the closest things around you, even not in your state. Arkansas, if you're in Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas, and that kind of thing. That way, should you for whatever reason have to go somewhere else, you at least have that paper map that you can do. Now, I just have mine in a Ziploc bag wrapped up with a little clip. You can get map. I forgot what they're called. The little map plastic thing, whatever they're called. Anyways, definitely get paper maps. Even if you have, a smartwatch, whatever, it can die. You have to have the paper maps like that. Talking about your phone dying. Now, I keep a extra battery backup in my bag. It's got USB and micro USB ports, which goes with my phone. This one's kind of neat. It also has a little flashlight built into it that you can turn on and off, and it will tell you the battery meter. See, mine's completely full there. But this one is a little bit waterproof, not waterproof, but more water resistant. And to go along with that, an old phone. Now, I try to keep this one charged up. Sometimes it dies. This will completely charge it 100%. But why an old phone? Because as long as it has been activated on a plan, on a service at one time, it has to be able to call 911. The reason I bring that up is if it's just a situation where your tire went flat, but you don't have your phone, your phone is dead, and you can't use this for whatever reason, that will still at least be able to get you contact with someone else. If you can't get in touch with a family member, you can always call 911 and at least get some sort of assistance. I don't know what's going on with this, but it's driving me nuts. Back in there. Sorry. Anyways, I hate that right there. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, a watertight box, this thing, you can find these at, I found this one at Rolling Hills. You can find them at Goodwill. These little plastic, this is Outdoor Products, Walmart version, I think. But it's just an old phone that was active at one time. It'll still at least be able to call 911. If you can't get somebody on your phone for whatever reason, your phone dies, why not have a backup? This is super thin. Again, we're trying to save room and weight. It does take up a little bit of weight, but the room, it doesn't take up very much. So, battery backup and phone. Now, going along with phone, battery backup, and the paper maps, have local numbers and contact numbers, your wife, your kids, maybe not, like my kids are only 5, but, your wife, your mom, your dad, whoever you can get in contact with that might be able to come and help you, have them written down. I only remember my wife's phone number. I don't even remember my own phone number. I don't know my dad's, I don't know my mom's phone number, but have them written down somewhere that you can get to them in case your phone dies and somebody else has a phone. It doesn't do you any good if you find somebody with a phone, but you can't call anybody. So that's definitely is another thing that you need to be conscious of, that that a lot of people forget, right? Just write them down. Just have them printed out, something, laminated, something on paper that you can access without electronics, without having to use something electronic to get them. Another thing is, if you have daily medication, now sometimes this might be hard if it's prescribed, but keep a little bit extra in your bag. Keep some Benadryl in your bag, and a little bit of Tylenol. Keep them separate. You don't want to get pulled over and they wonder why you have all these pills. You don't want to do that, but keep them, Tylenol in the Tylenol bottle, ibuprofen bottle, Benadryl in the Benadryl bottle. Keep them all in there. I mean, you can get those little travel ones that are no bigger around than a quarter, and they're about as tall as a roll of quarters. And you can keep that in there. A lot of people don't think to keep Benadryl and their extra daily medicines. You may need that. You may end up having to stay the night somewhere else that you hadn't planned on, and it may be something you can't go without taking. Keep that in your bag. Now, rotate them out, of course. Always keep up with expiration dates, and if it's an extreme heat or if it's extreme cold. I don't know that cold would affect it, and heat might not, but still keep those kind of things in mind if you do keep that in there, because you don't want to take expired medicine. So definitely keep track of it some way where you can look at, I'm kind of OCD. I keep all my stuff in an Excel spreadsheet with expiration dates, where it is in the bag. I'm weird, but keep it all in a container where and it clearly labeled too. That's another thing, is clearly label everything, because that way if you tell somebody, okay, I have medicine in my bag, I need the blue bottle with the red cap on it, they know exactly where they can go to get that medicine that you need currently. All right, moving along, let's see. Let me see what else. A window punch or a glass breaker. If you're in an urban setting, there may be a time where you have to get into a building for whatever reason, for shelter, to get away from somebody. And it's, especially if it is a grid down situation. I mean, if your tire goes flat, I don't recommend breaking into a building. I'm not saying that. But if you are in a grid down kind of situation, or economic collapse, or even like I said earlier, something with the tornadoes and the hurricanes and stuff like that, there may be a time where you have to take shelter, but all that's around you is a building, or a vehicle for that matter, that is locked up, that you can't get into. Now this is the Border Guard, Smith & Wesson Border Guard. It's big and bulky. I'm not saying get this one, but glass punch, seatbelt cutter. The glass punch, now you can carry a crowbar. That takes up a lot of room in your bag. It's heavy, it's bulky. I don't recommend that. Maybe a small pry bar or something, like an EDC pry bar or something like that. But a glass punch, man, why would you not? Especially, I mean, and keep it in your vehicle. I keep mine up here by my visor, for stuff like, if something happens, I can't open my door. Well, my door's broke anyways, it won't open. But if I can't open my door, I need to get out through this window. Why not make it easy on yourself? I keep it right up here. Here's the window. Why not make it easy on yourself and keep that in your bag too? Another thing that a lot of people forget is morale boosters. Whether it's pictures of your family, a Bible you can read, a book of some kind that you can read, or even like I keep some playing cards in here. These are the UST version. They're pretty neat. They're, they have little sayings on them, little hints, little survival tips. Like this one is taut line hitch. So it just kind of shows, but the main reason that I have these is sometimes if you're at a point that you can do this, sometimes you need to just sit down, relax, do something with the cards, play a game of solitaire, something, and clear your mind. Just get everything out of your mind so you can think straight. A lot of times, if you're in a situation where you've got adrenaline going and you've got all kinds of stuff, that you have to get done, you have to clear your mind and take your priorities in and see exactly what it is that you need to do. Sorry, that was John. And it helps you just to clear your mind and get your get your mind off of things, So, now the last thing, let me make sure that that's the last thing. Yeah, that looks like the last thing. The last thing that I don't see a lot of people carrying, and in an urban situation, it is such a great thing to have. This is a 4-way water key. It has different sized spots on it that can turn on water at a commercial building on the outside. You can do that with a pair of needle nose pliers, which I always have like a Leatherman on me or something like that. You can do that, but you run the risk of damaging the little knob that you turn it on with, or even the locking door. This will open, I'd say, probably 90% of them. This thing is super cheap. It is like, I think I paid $8, but you can get them even for $5, $6 at Lowe's and Home Depot and any kind of hardware store, Ace, True Value, whatever. And you could get them there, man. They take up no room. Throw it down in your Nalgene bottle. Beside, just in your bag somewhere. This would be invaluable whenever if the water is, if you don't have a water source that you can get to, or like if you're in town like me, there's nowhere, I can't just go to a pond. There are ponds, but I'm not drinking out of those. But, why would you not have this? There's these spouts are on the building that I work at. They're on all of the main commercial buildings, all the way back towards the way that I need to go to get to my house, to get to my kids. So you got to have one of these guys. And I think that is all that I've got for y'all today. I really wanted to get that video out and get you guys, some things that you haven't thought about that don't take up much room, that don't take up much weight added to your bag. Now, all these things together, of course, will kind of add up, but them individually, and the weight versus the usefulness of the tool, why not? You've got to have them. But, yeah, like I said, that's all that I've got for y'all today. Leave a comment down there if there's something I left out or something that you think is better than what I've suggested. Now, I don't mean those models specifically, but if you have a better idea, something tried and true that works better than any of it, let me know. And just, comment if there's something, like I said, that I left out. Thanks, guys. Don't push the babies, and we'll see you next time.